Right then guys, hello, welcome back. This is EDVC, another in the series of, I'll slowly compile this list so you can always refer back to it. Yeah, you know, they always say as you get older you get long in the tooth, but also your teeth get discolored and sometimes they drop out, yeah, like me. So don't be too worried about that. Now I'm going to the dentist and things will be sorted, I hope, soon. So you will see a shock, yeah? You always got to look after yourself. This is what this video is about, is looking after yourself. So with the EDVC, the first thing I want to do is show you some of the things that I use on Roadside to make sure that I'm okay. My job is at the front line, so we have to deal with waste oils, we have to deal with huge amounts of brake dust, road grit, and anything that the vehicles have stuck to them, and sometimes you just don't know what they are, so you have to protect yourself. And the main thing is, the rule of thumb is, do not touch your penis or your scrotum with dirty hands, okay, or your nose or your lips. Very, very important. If you have prolonged contact with waste oils, you can get skin problems. Greases will dry out your skin and they will make the skin crack, okay? So you want to protect yourself from the stuff that you're working with and the stuff that's stuck to the car, yeah? And afterwards, you need to clean yourself up to make sure that you get in that vehicle and you can carry on your way without worrying too much about having lumps of grease stuck to the steering wheel. And believe me, it does happen in the professional world as well. I'm sure some HGV drivers that are watching this will have little stories about fitters that left a lump of grease on their dashboard accidentally, yeah? Because that's what happens, yeah? So you have to minimize the impact on the environment, yeah? And that is your immediate environment and yourself, yeah? So let's go and have a look, see what we have in our tool bag today. Yeah, that can be suggestions for you to collect to have at hand when you need them, or if you need them, you may never do. Right then, this is my selection for a toolkit, tool bag, emergency, get you home, EDVC, okay, everyday vehicle carry. Now, I've emptied all the tools out, I've taken everything out, and I've just left a few items in here which I'm going to show you. This is not the finished bag at all. Okay, nor is this shopping bag with towels and t-shirts in. But let's talk about this, shall we? Okay, so I like soft on the outside and hard in the middle. Yeah, some people like hard on the outside and soft in the middle, but it's all about what you prefer at the end of the day. This won't damage anything if it goes moving about in the vehicle. Not that I'd intend it to, but if you had a box that broke loose, that would cause more damage than what a soft bag would, okay? So this would take some abuse. Okay, but on the inside, of course, we have the hard containers, yeah? So where are we going to start? Well, let's start with those blue things that all mechanics wear. They come in all sorts of colors, all sorts of material, latex or nitrile. These are for oils and greases, so you don't get them on your hands, all right? And use them. Now, they come in cardboard boxes, and what happens to a cardboard box when it's been outside or in a car for a little while or in a bag? I have a partiality to this keto power fuel, okay, which is just slim fast stuff. The container at the end of the day is fairly rigid and it's not going to fall to bits when you have it in your bag, okay? So that's something to do with your nitrile gloves, is to pack them into something like this and then mark them as, okay, or plastic bag, whatever, depends on how many you think you're going to use. And believe me, these do not last long, they rip to pieces straight away, especially on sharp stuff, so you're not really going to have 2 or 3, you want at least half a box with you, yes, okay, even for the simplest breakdowns, unless of course you're just changing a wheel, something like that, okay. So these are for oils. Now there is another type of MechTech glove, which is this, the Gorilla glove if you like, or high grip glove. These are for dry jobs, okay. They've got high grip force when they're oily, but they're porous, okay. Now what happens with these, when you get oil on them, they trap the oil between this and the skin. So you either wear nitriles underneath or you put the nitriles on the top, yeah. These are all right actually with power guns. things that you're using, suspension jobs, stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah, that's a one, right? These sort of gloves, once you've used them and they're dirty, you can put them with dirty clothes and then wash them later. Soda crystals will get rid of grease once you've soaked things in, yeah, with hot water. Yeah, soda crystals are actually brilliant. And I've got a t-shirt here, which this was last week, so I got grease all over it, yeah, because it was a hot day and I splattered some grease accidentally. Yeah, I put this through the washing machine, the grease still stayed on it, but if I'd have soaked it in soda crystals first, that would have broken it all down and got rid of it. But this t-shirt is now defunct, that's finished with. I've got a new set to use. Yeah, so they are now rags, not too bothered about that. Yeah, so that's just a tip for you. Now in the bag you could possibly put some wet wipes in it, like what your missus has got, or what you use when you haven't got any water and you've got to clean your hands with. They're good, but they're not good enough for mech tech work at all. Yeah, any type of breakdown stuff. So what we have here is the proper wet wipes for the mechanic, okay, which are brilliant. I use these all the time. We usually have buckets of these. I've got a smaller tub which has got 80 inside, 80 wipes, so that may last you years if you don't use them. But what I'd advise is once you've broken the seal, taken that off there, what happens is they dry out. So what you need to do, you use them and try to seal the container up so it's airtight again. Yeah, and they'll last a lot longer. But these things strip the grease off like nobody's business off your hands. Yeah, now there is a little trick that mechanics, or painters should I say, use, is either use a type of barrier cream on your hands, which I do quite regularly. I take it right the way up my arms when I'm working with my overalls down and my t-shirt on, because sometimes the workshop gets too hot. But you can use Vaseline in the short term, okay, as a barrier cream. But it also works as a type of moisturizer, because if you have dry hands like I do, sometimes my knuckles crack. What I do is I use this stuff and it's pretty good. Plus it's also a lubricant when you need it for rubber seals as well. Yeah, okay, so there's quite a few uses for Vaseline. I'm sure you can name a few more. I know I'm laughing, but there's a lot of technical uses for this, not just physical ones. Yeah, so always keep one of those. As I say, you can cover yourself in, so you've got barrier cream. Use your gloves, and they do split. Yeah, and then you can wipe yourself down afterwards. Vitally important. Yeah, so bottom side as well, this is important. Now these knee pads are far too bulky to use unless you have a big toolbox, okay, but they're a good idea because they're protecting your knees. Now I had an incident at work a little while ago. I'll just find the knee pad. I wear knee pads in my trousers, as you can see here, and I have a burnt knee pad. I had an accident where I had some melted metal, there you go, on this knee pad, and that burnt through overalls, burnt through my trousers, and it was burning through that before I felt the pain or the heat, okay, and I stopped it just in time, which saved my skin. The whole idea behind knee pads is if you kneel on something like a stone, yeah, you know how painful that could be, then you need to protect yourself. So what you can use is either a bit of foam, or if you've got a towel like this, is wrap it up, yeah, in something, even a plastic bag, and then kneel on it. Yeah, use that as your first port of defense against nasty little stones that could actually cripple you for a little while. Yeah, and I've seen guys do that kneeling on a bolt or something like that. Yeah, so I know this, they're all options that you can use, so you have to make your own mind up what you're going to do with this. That's quite large but vital. The gloves are vital, they take up space. If you wanted to, you could use a smaller container. If it's hard, it's hard. It's not going to have the gloves all over your bag, which is important. Okay, so that's that. Now the bag I have here is full of rags, Let me just tell you about the bandana first. Now really want to concentrate on the clothing. Okay, which you're going to find that if you have to climb under your vehicle safely, you are going to be minging when you come out. it doesn't matter what environment you go in, dust, dirt, and whatever else that you lay in, you're going to get dusty, aren't you? Okay, now I am a bandana man, okay, which means that I wear a bandana on my head, okay, like this during my work day, and I will change it 2 or 3 times. Yeah, one of the reasons is to keep the dust off my hair so I don't have to spend so much on shampoo. The other thing is it's an instant rag to grab if I've run out, okay, or I can't get hold of one because it's out of reach, and it happens quite often. You never put rags in your pockets. This area down here, yeah, your genitals are sacred, okay? No oils, no grease, no dirt, okay? If you're bursting for a wee, put some nitrile gloves on and do your business, and then come back if you can't clean your hands. Or clean your hands properly first, okay? It's vitally important. You don't want testicular cancer, okay, or any odd growths on your genital parts, which can happen, and quite quickly. All the stuff we have to deal with motor vehicles are toxic, yeah? So with a bandana, you can quickly whip that off. You can wipe what you need to, yeah, with your hands or whatever. And then, of course, you can carry on with the job and then get out and go and get yourself another rag, a fresh rag, a bandana, whatever you like, okay? So this is the reason I do it at work, and people just think I'm a little bit silly, but I'm not. There is purpose behind that, because I also work on kingpins and the grease is just above my head, yeah? So I don't want slard grease all over the place, yeah? So that's the thing, yeah. The top half of you, just use an old coat or something like that, and when you've finished, yeah, what you want to do, if you have one of these, a plastic bag, is you change your clothes and put them in your plastic bag, yeah? Now with the trouser area, okay, you do want old trousers, don't you? Because that is the first thing that's going to get hit, whether you're kneeling down, yeah? If you're going to lie down, use some cardboard or material, or that thing in the back of your car, which is a carpet. At the last resort, you can always chuck that down on the floor, yeah? Depending on what the situation is, yeah? Or some material. I do have a crawler board which I use exclusively at work, which is made out of a shopping trolley, but pieces of cardboard or material, anything like that, to stop the crap getting on your clothes. You want to stay as clean as possible, obviously, because you've got to get back in that car and carry on your way, don't you? Yeah. Right, so yeah, bandana, easy to do. And then T-shirts, they are cotton, they're absorbent, and they're much better than using polyester or something like that. You'll know, yeah, when you use stuff, whether it will absorb or not. Towels, absolutely brilliant. There's always spares. Cut them up into squares or keep them whole. Keep some rags in your bag, yeah. Now I've just had a T-shirt purge. These are my old working T-shirts, and I've regularly washed them in soda crystals, soaked them and washed them in soda crystals. They've lasted ages, but now they've got all burn marks and all sorts in them, so that's it, finished with. Always have a bag of rags, recycle them, and if you need to, if you've just got them a little bit oily, wash them, soak them, wash them, and then use them again, dry them out and use them again. Easy. That means you've got something that's reusable over and over again. My T-shirts that are hanging up, I go through 5 a week, 1 a day for work, yeah. And I've ordered some more off eBay, and I've just had issues with delivery with those. So there you go, basically. That's the type of thing that you could put in your bag, and you have to be economical about the space you use. But what I would suggest to do is think about how much space you've got and then adapt to it, and think about what you're going to do with your tool bag. This one will be get me home and a few jobs bag, and I'll have stuff in the garage. You can't put axle stands and jacks in these bags. You have to carry them separately, but there are all sorts of pockets and whatever that you can use for bits and pieces, and I will show you later some of the stuff that should be in your bag, which are materials rather than tools, because you're limited what you can do on the side of the road. Okay, so that'll be in the next following videos. See you later. 25 10